Walking through the gates of the Somnath temple on India's western coast, you're met with gleaming honey-colored stone and intricate carvings. It looks untouched. But 1,000 years ago, in January 1026, Mahmud of Ghazni crossed the Thar Desert to reach these exact ancient shores. His violent raid killed 50,000 defenders, stripped the site of 20 million dinars, and broke the sacred Jyotirlinga in half. That raid was the first in a centuries-long pattern. The temple was sacked by Alauddin Khilji's forces in 1299. Zafar Khan leveled it in 1395. Mahmud Begdah assaulted it in 1459. By 1706, Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb explicitly ordered the temple demolished beyond any possibility of repair. A structure targeted for total erasure 17 times over a millennium simply should not exist today. To understand how this temple survived, and why 1 million pilgrims still journey here every year, we have to look past standard geopolitical history and look at the sky. Specifically, the moon. According to ancient Hindu texts, Chandra, the moon god, married 27 daughters of the sage Daksha, but Chandra showed affection to only one of them, Rohini. Ignoring repeated warnings from his father-in-law to treat them equally, Chandra provoked a devastating curse. Chandra's celestial light started to fade, the tides faltered, the plants withered, and the entire world faced the threat of permanent darkness. Desperate, Chandra traveled to Prabhas Tirth, the exact coastal spot where 3 rivers meet the Arabian Sea. There, he performed intense penance, reciting mantras until Lord Shiva appeared to offer a compromise. Shiva couldn't completely break a righteous curse, but he modified it. Chandra would lose his light entirely for 15 days, but then steadily regain his rain hymns over the next 15. In gratitude for this rhythm of return, he built a golden shrine on the shoreline. He called it Somnath, Lord of the Moon. This mythology is the architectural DNA of the site. Somnath was designed to endure phases of total darkness, knowing a brilliant return is always inevitable. This map shows how that mythology mapped onto actual history. By the 11th century, Somnath was an immensely wealthy cultural center. Its location acted as a crucial port, anchoring heavy trade lines to East Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, making it an irresistible target. Successive waves of invading forces crashed down on the coast. In the temple's logic, these violent eras were the forced waning of its light. But the local population responded with an immediate, stubborn reflex to wax back to full strength. When surface shrines became impossible to defend, Queen Ahilyabai Holkar financed a new temple nearby, hiding a Shivalinga in a secret underground chamber so worship could continue in the dark. Repeated demolition entirely failed to erase Somnath. Instead, weathering those violent eras forged a collective cultural reflex of resurrection that became deeply tied to the region's identity. In November 1947, directly following India's independence, Deputy Prime Minister Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel stood before the sea-swept ruins of the coast. He made a vow: the temple would rise again, permanently. The organizing committee brought the proposal to Mahatma Gandhi. He blessed the massive effort, but gave one strict condition: the government could not pay for the construction. If this was a people's temple, it had to be funded entirely by public donations. Within 2 years, citizens across the country contributed 25 lakh rupees. The project was handed to the Sonpura Salats, Gujarat's traditional lineage of master masons. These craftsmen built the new 155-foot spire using the ancient Maru Gujara architectural style. They utilized carving techniques passed down through their families for generations, locking the new stones into a 1,000-year-old unbroken chain of artistry. The 1947 rebuild served as the final waxing phase, a moment for a newly independent India to use its own hands to assert its cultural survival. Walk the grounds of Somnath today, and you hear the unbroken continuation of chants ringing out during the 7 a.m. morning arti. Over 1 million pilgrims arrive here every single year. In January 2026, India marked exactly 1,000 years since Mahmud of Ghazni's infamous raid. The medieval commanders who stripped this site of its gold are now footnotes in old texts. Meanwhile, the temple they tried to break stands tall, flooded with light. When India's first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, installed the new Jyotirlinga in May 1951, he looked at the finished stone and delivered a simple truth. He said that the power of reconstruction will inherently always be greater than the power of destruction. Somnath stands as living proof that faith and collective memory, when shared by millions across a millennium, become forces that no amount of destruction can ever truly erase from the earth.